Hi there. What I'm going to talk about today is just speeding up maybe your workflow with InDesign. This is a very basic thing, but we talk about this in our InDesign Level 1 class, setting up default preferences so that every time InDesign opens, it opens up with the workspace that I want, the way the tool panel is set up, a measurement system is set up, and also like the default text is set up. So the first thing you want to do whenever you do this is make sure you don't have any documents open. We're going to make a global change to the default preferences for InDesign. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on my workspace and I'm going to pick Typography. I'm going to come down to Typography and I'm going to do a reset on that so it gives me the basic panel set up for that. Now in here, I would like to add a panel that I use frequently, and that's called Links. So I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to come down to Links. I'm going to drag this panel into my group up here within InDesign, so I use that quite a bit. And also I use the Alignment panel quite a bit, so I'm going to go under here to Object and Layout and pick Align. And I'm going to drag these two items down, and I'm going to put them in with Stroke and Gradient. Same way with Pathfinder. Okay, so now those are kind of panels I like to work with all the time. I also like to have my toolbar in dual columns here. It's easier for me to work with the fill in the stroke and the different items at the base of this panel. Now the next thing is maybe I want to have a different font than Minion Pro come up for my default font. So let's say I want to set this up for Adobe Garamond Pro. So I'm going to come over to Adobe Garamond Pro. I'm going to pick regular. I'm going to pick 12 points. So I'm going to set that up as my default for every text frame I click on and draw out. This will be the default text. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my InDesign menu in Mac and go under Preferences, and I'm going to come over here to Units and Increments. Now if you're on Windows, you'd go under the Edit menu, pick Preferences, and then pick Units and Increments there. Here, right now by the default, the rulers are set up for picas and points. So maybe I want to change it over to inches on both of my rulers. So now I've set up my default measurement system for my rulers for inches. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click OK. And here's the key thing. We want to go under InDesign if you're on a Mac and quit InDesign. If you're on Windows, you want to go under File and Exit. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on the Mac. I'm going to go up to the Apple menu here and I'm just going to come back to Recent Items and I'm just going to restart InDesign CS5. If you're on Windows, you just go down to the app bar and then restart the program from there if you'd like. When it opens up, it should remember the way the tool panel was set up in dual columns. If I click on the Type tool, I can see my font is set at Adobe Garamond Pro. And I'm over here looking at my workspace set up for typography, and here's my links, here's Pathfinder, here's Align, just like I set it up for the default. So now every new document I start from this point on will always have these defaults. So there's just a little tip of how to set up the global defaults for when InDesign starts up. The key thing is, remember, don't have any documents open, set up your workspace, set up your tool panel, set up your font, and then go ahead and if you want to change your measurement system, you can do that too for your rulers, and then go ahead and exit or quit out of InDesign. So the next time you start up InDesign, it will come back to these defaults.